This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Do you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah! Oh,
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
Hello and welcome to With This Ring, episode 32. I'm your co-host Ryan Everett.
I'm Cindy Everett.
And today we're going to continue our look at the WWE list, and we're going to start with part one of of Shawn Michaels' storied career.
And explain your logic behind the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels sandwich we got going on.
So I thought Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels are always compared to each other.
Yeah.
Same time period, same like smaller guys, more technical, and like more so for the matches rather than just, like Hulk Hogan's whole thing.
Right, yeah.
So it's more like the match.
Wrestlers, you mean?
Yeah. So, and then with Shawn Michaels, he's basically got two careers because he wrestled from 88 till 98, and then 2002 to 2010.
Okay, that's a longer. I didn't realize he wrestled all the way through the aughts, or whatever we're calling them.
Yep, the zeros.
The zeros.
And then Bret Hart had his run. His one run was longer than either of those, but he was around for like 84 to 97. Mm-hmm. And as we'll watch with Bret Hart, his last real match in the WWE was against Shawn Michaels, and there's a lot going on for that match.
Interesting. Okay.
But we'll get there later this month. Well, next month.
Gotcha. All right. My notes up.
So we started with Shawn Michaels, and we watched a couple matches from his early days as a rocker.
Miss Very Blonde.
Yep, very blonde.
Very mullety. And this was, the Rockers. Wait a second. This versus Arn Anderson
and Tully Blanchard. Yes, the Brain Busters.
Ah, obviously.
Of course.
I think Tully Blanchard's like a name I never would have thought was real.
Yeah.
Is it real?
It is.
Tully? That's on his birth certificate?
I mean, I don't know if
what would that be
short for something, but Tullard?
Tullard? Is Tullard?
Tulliver?
Tulliver?
Tully Arthur Blanchard.
No. All right.
Yeah, there you go. His dad was Joe Blanchard, who was like the Texas promoter, and that's kind of how
it's like a Texas
he
thing.
started, I guess.
Well, we're not on Tully Blanchard, we're on Shawn Michaels. What I wrote down, I said young and feisty. They're all moving really well. Even Arn Anderson, who is not really a mover in my mind. Shawn had some nice bridge moves, but yeah, it's an overall good start. Kind of sets the tone because you're right, very athletic, very fast-paced.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, it's interesting just seeing these two different types, like the Rockers, like a young, fast team, and then the Brainbusters, who were like a WCW, like NWA tag team, basically. Were like, they would just wrestle for 20 minutes against anyone. It's not like they're just going to hit their catchphrases and get out.
Yeah. That was a good one. I didn't write down who won.
The Brainbusters win by cheating.
Oh, that's right.
I think there's a suplex that Arn Anderson hooks the leg for. And
that's right. Yeah. I think there's like a lot of matches that now. Well, not. As I watch more of these, I realize how much there's a lot of interference and cheating and.
Well, yeah, you can't have clean matches.
No, I like a good clean match.
Every once in a while.
The next one's not a clean match either.
No, so this is the first of what we'll see as many Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels showdowns, but in tag team form here.
Mm-hmm. The Rockers versus the Hart Foundation. I said, yeah, good combinations of Bret and Marty. Yeah, they were like a cohesive team.
Yeah.
I feel like. Tell me more about the Rockers.
So they started in the AWA a couple of years before they came to WWF.
So they were together. They came together.
Yeah, I mean they each wrestled for a couple of years on their own, but they were put together as a team because back then every promotion wanted what they called a blowjob babyface team.
What?
Yeah. And it was just the team that all the girls would like.
Oh, okay. Want to get blowjobs?
Yes,
Got
exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So that was a big thing, especially in the territories. Each one had to have one of those teams.
Oh, that was the Rockers?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it looked like there were the Rock and Roll Express. So they were kind of the Rockers were kind of a ripoff.
Gotcha.
Of them.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Rock and Roll.
So, yeah. So that's how they... And then they came into WWF in 88 in 87, had one match, and then got fired because they partied too much the night after.
Really?
Yes. And there's disputes about how...
Bret Hart's a big partier?
Shawn Michaels.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That I could see.
And there was disputes about how much they actually did versus how much another guy did, but he said it was them.
Gotcha.
But needless to say, they got fired, and then they came back a year later, and then they kind of slotted in right away as
with the team.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. How long did Marty Giannetti fight?
Well, he bounced in and out, but from 93 through 97, I would say, basically.
Okay. So
it wasn't consistently because he had stops and starts, but generally.
Gotcha. Okay. This is one where, yeah, the good combinations, good work, but then the bell rings, but everyone keeps fighting, a whole bunch of people run out.
Yeah, so
what was going on with that?
So
and then it's a draw.
Yeah, so for one thing, I liked how both teams are faces.
Okay.
But midway through the Hart Foundation, because even when they're faces, they kind of cheat every once in a while, so they just kind of turn heel, just kind of by default, because they're still gonna use the shortcuts and stuff while the Rockers aren't.
Gotcha.
So then, yeah, it goes to the time limit draw, and the bell rings, and it should be over. But then there's just so much competitiveness between the two teams.
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So they just keep fighting, and eventually, different guys who wrestled earlier and then come out to try and put a stop to it.
Gotcha. Just because.
Yeah, because if the two baby faces are fighting, you don't want them to hurt each other, so you gotta separate. Gotta keep them separated.
Gotcha. Yeah, so this one kind of a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, I'll agree there.
Yeah. So this next was the Rockers versus the Orient Express
Yep.
in 1991. A very tan Shawn Michaels.
Yes,
The first thing I wrote down is very tan, very blonde. Some synchronized movement here. This is when Mr. Fuji, though.
Yeah, he gets involved with that cane, that loaded cane.
The deadly cane?
Well, devious.
Devious.
It's devious.
Cane. Okay. Well, obviously. It's those things we have upstairs that the kids have.
Yeah.
the devious Melissa and Doug cleaning set.
Exactly.
They're just taking after their dad.
Mm-hmm. So what did you think of this match itself?
I liked it. The double slingshot.
Yeah,
roll up.
a lot of
Good
double
move.
team moves by the Rockers,
Yeah.
kind of on display. And this was kind of the point. Well, so Shawn Michaels had a knee injury over the summer of '90, so this is when he was coming back.
Okay.
And I think this is where it kind of went from these are two really good wrestlers to these are two really good wrestlers, but Shawn Michaels is better.
Gotcha.
Because he's kind of taking more control of the match and in it a lot longer. And I think it's kind of when the company was okay, Shawn Michaels is going to be the guy.
Pushing him, yeah.
Yeah.
He was pretty much up there. Was he the main guy, you think, for a while?
Yeah.
I think. It's always you're right, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Randy Savage was kind of on not the downswing.
He was being, he was going 90s. Down.
Hogan was more 80s. I think Savage and Hogan's more, I think, of the 80s.
Right, yeah.
So it was the early 90s. Between 1990 and 1995, who do you think the biggest
well, between 90, it's still Hogan through 91. 92, it's kind of split between Savage and Flair, I would say.
Okay, yeah.
And then 93 is when, well, originally it's Bret Hart, but then they kind of switch halfway and go back and go to Yokozuna, actually.
Didn't see that one coming.
And then 94 is definitely the Bret Hart, is like the
Apex.
Head of the company. 95, they actually switched it to Diesel, Kevin Nash, for a year. And then 96 is definitely Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
Like, he wins the title at WrestleMania. We skipped that match because it is Shawn versus Bret, but it's an hour.
Whoa.
And it's not really good.
It's a whole hour?
Yeah, well, it's an Iron Man match.
Still.
Yeah, and it's kind of
that
like...
doesn't make it better.
Actually, it's 61 minutes and 30 seconds because it goes to overtime because neither man can get a win in an hour.
Well, if an hour's not long enough, just add more time.
Nope, just do a sudden death.
Okay.
There must be a winner.
So, Shawn Michaels is definitely in the top, probably 5.
Yeah, I would say like throughout the 90s. Because, I mean, the 90s is hard to say because it changes so much.
Right,
like,
you're right. I mean, like pre-Attitude Era.
Right, I would say pre-Attitude Era, it's like if you had to say a Mount Rushmore, it'd probably be, still got to have Hogan, Bret, Shawn, and maybe like a half Randy Savage, half Diesel bust on the mountain.
Well, looking forward to commissioning that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Didn't go well.
Okay, so yeah. Well, speaking of Randy Savage.
Well, first, though, we go to the barbershop.
Oh, that's right.
And there are rumors. There was a WWE magazine article that I remember reading about how there's trouble with the Rockers.
Oh.
So Brutus Beefcake wanted to like put those rumors to rest. And eventually they do shake hands. They say that the Rockers are going to keep rocking and rolling like they can. And they shake hands, they hug, and then Shawn Michaels super kicks Marty Jannetty.
Yep. And
then throws him through the barbershop window.
Yeah, that escalated
Which,
quickly.
for one thing, a lot of people, like, by like 90, about like 2000, that became like cliche, like, to know about that.
Okay.
And like reference it. But a lot of people will always say, oh yeah, Shawn Michaels super kicked him through the window.
No.
Which is not what he does at all. No.
He super kicks them.
Then throws him through the window. Well, actually,
how did he not get like horribly injured?
According to Bobby Heenan, that coward Marty Jannetty jumped out through the window to try and get away from Shawn Michaels.
Version of history. How did he not like get horribly injured in that?
Well, it was it's probably sugar glass.
You think so?
Like stage glass.
Gotcha.
I mean, it couldn't have been like for one thing, if you get thrown into a plate glass window, you're just gonna fall back off it. Like your head's not really gonna go through it unless you're like ran through it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I don't know what kind of glass Brutus Beefcake has for his barbershop. Maybe he's going for like 1920s aesthetic, so the glass isn't as
super thick. Yeah, who knows? But okay, yeah, you're right. Then that's kind of there. Is that their breakup moment then? Or
yeah, that's it for the Rockers. And Marty Jannetty was supposed to come back like a couple of months, but as is his like ongoing scenario, gets busted for drugs and doesn't come back till November. They have a couple matches, and it's kind of, and then he wrestles Shawn Michaels. Well, Shawn Michaels wins the IC title from the British Bulldog in end of '92. He fights Marty Jannetty at the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
wins.
Yeah, makes sense.
He fights Tatanka at WrestleMania and loses by countout, but keeps the belt.
Okay.
And then on a random Raw in May, he's like in the ring cutting a promo, and some guy comes in with like a ski mask and hoodie and stuff and takes it up, and Shawn Michaels is like, I'll fight you and beat you, and it takes everything off, and it's Marty Jannetty.
Oh.
And his big surprise return, and Marty Jannetty actually wins the Intercontinental title from Shawn Michaels.
Damn, well, how long did he hold it for?
Well, the next week. Shawn Michaels is having a match. This was an untelevised match, so I'm not really sure if this is how it happened, but they said the next night on Raw, Shawn Michaels came out with the Intercontinental title, and like 7-foot guy behind him, and Kevin Nash.
Oh, yeah.
And they said he debuted the night before and hit Marty Jannetty to help Shawn Michaels win.
Gotcha. Interesting. Why did they televise that?
They didn't. It was just a random house show. Oh, okay. Like they did a lot of title changes in '93 on house shows. Like especially the tag titles. It was like the Steiner brothers beat Money Inc. Money Inc. beat the Steiners, and the Steiners beat Money Inc. like in 3 days in a row. So just kind of.
I think I also take advantage of the fact we're so saturated with content now.
Right. Back then it was just Raw and Superstars.
Right, because you had 4 channels on your television.
Well, you had cable by then. 93.
Yeah, we had cable. Yeah.
I mean, even if you didn't, cable was around.
Accessible. Yeah. No, we always had cable.
Yeah, same here.
There's always those couple friends that would take pity on us that didn't have.
Alec didn't have it for a long time.
I remember. Yeah, he's saying that.
Alec and Nick and Matt.
Oh, so our loyal listeners.
Yep. covers it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then our next match was a rematch for that match from that. Or no, actually, no, we're long before that.
Yeah. Wait a second.
So right after he turns heel.
We were at Shawn Michaels and Randy Savage.
Yeah. So after he turns heel, Sensational Sherry says that she has a crush on Shawn Michaels and wants to be with him. So, and her teddy bear, Ted DiBiase, lets her go to be with Shawn Michaels.
What was her deal?
Well, at this period, she was kind of like the old MILF, who's kind of she was definitely supposed to be older than Shawn Michaels, I think, and kind of showing him the ways of the world.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting.
So she starts as Shawn's manager and sings a certain song for him that would become quite memorable. And
her version's kind of weird hearing her version.
Yeah, it was normal at first, and then
good point. Yeah.
Then when Shawn Michaels singing it for the next 20, 30 years now, it kind of sounds a little different. Why did they decide
to have him sing it by himself?
Because it's all about him. He's an egomaniac.
Okay, gotcha.
So we see, and this shows you the kind of confidence they had in him, though. They had this European pay-per-view, and it's towards the middle. It's not the main event, but here he is wrestling the world champion. They obviously had plans when they broke him up. It wasn't just
right.
That's true. We're just sick of the Rockers. We need to split you up. We have big plans for you.
How old was he in 1992?
He would have been 27. I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was 65.
Yeah, wow, that is really young.
Yeah, so I mean, he's getting the push, and does well. I mean, he hangs with Randy Savage in a big time match.
He does, yeah. Randy Savage goes big, fast.
Yeah.
So they fast paced. He had lots of big moves. But yeah, he hangs with them. But in the end, Randy Savage does win.
Yep. Well, Sherry gets involved, so Elizabeth gets involved. Right. So that kind of adds a little drama to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, once again, can't be completely clean.
Right.
I don't know why I added notes. We're now.
But yeah, I think this was a good match, and it kind of he works on a knee because Randy Savage had an injured knee from WrestleMania, so it's kind of doing some psychology and slowing things down.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's the angle he played out. But good match.
Yeah.
Very solid.
I agree. And then the next match was Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart.
Another crossover. First ladder match.
Yes, the first WWF ladder match. And as the story goes, in Bret Hart's father's promotion, Stampede, they had ladder matches a couple of times.
Oh, really?
So he brought it up to Vince that they should have a ladder match. And Vince wanted to see one between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And at this point, it wasn't known if SummerSlam was going to be in London, which is where it eventually was in 92, or Washington, D.C. And if it was in London, which is what they went with, it was Bret Hart versus British Bulldog. But if it was going to be in Washington, they were going to do Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in a ladder match.
Okay.
For the Intercontinental title. So, well, it was kind of solved by then where they were going. So they were like, all right, well, let's see what the ladder match is anyways.
Gotcha.
And it was just taped at a random video, home video shooting.
Oh, okay. No, it was good. So the original one came from Bret Hart's promotion, and they probably got it from someone else, or
well, I mean,
is it I don't think it's really documented where the first ladder.
I mean, I think it had to originate somewhere,
right?
And I think it seems like it was
Bret Hart's
Stampede.
dad's Stampede's good enough as any origin story.
So, someone bought it up one time. So
some idiot stood on a ladder.
Yeah.
And got knocked off of it by another guy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. This was good, I think.
Yeah, and it's different than like the ladder matches you have nowadays, where it's like all these stunts off the ladder. Here, they use it, but not that much, and it's kind of more of like a weapon that they whip each other into it.
Right.
It's not like they're doing
smashing each other in it or like big moves.
Yeah, they're not doing 3 DDTs off the ladder or jumping off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sherry was in this one too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 92. She's very, very involved for Shawn Michaels.
Do they get along?
Yeah, I mean, she goes after a year. She goes, but
just because.
Yeah, it kind of run its course, and you could only do so much with it.
Right. I feel like she seems kind of extraneous.
Yeah, she's a lot.
Yeah, she kind of
But I mean, it's really shows that. Again, they had, like, before that, she was with Randy Savage when he was a top heel, and then Ted DiBiase when he was still pretty big. So putting her with Shawn, it helped make Shawn Michaels more than anything. It was like, this guy's, they don't give Sherry they don't give bumps to Sherry.
Gotcha.
If she's with someone, they're going to get a lot of TV time, a lot of exposure, so. That helped, like, maybe if he didn't have Sherry and he was just on his own, it would have taken him, like, 2 years to get the IC title rather than like 6 months.
Gotcha. Bret Hart ends up winning it. It was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was kind of. They still were figuring out the kinks of it. Like,
that's a good point. Yeah. Well, it's good first effort.
And again, it wasn't. It was kind of like a tryout match, basically. Like, just see how this concept works. Not let's have the greatest ladder match
that's
ever.
True. Yeah. Yeah, go out, test it out, see how it goes. Yeah, very good. Now I get to your Marty Jannetty.
We get to Marty Jannetty, July 19th, 1993. And so this is 6 months into the history of Raw. Raw started in January of 93.
Okay.
So it's still very new. And this was like one of the first times there was like a long match on Raw. Like 2 commercial breaks.
Oh, 2, wow, really?
Yeah. It was pretty long.
So what were you like during those commercial breaks?
I would just kind of still just sit there.
Just like, no, come back.
Well, I'd watch the commercial. I mean, that's what you did.
Go to the bathroom? Well, yeah, I know.
I mean, sometimes, I don't know. I might have gone to the bathroom once, but it was an hour show. It's not like...
Well, you don't remember like running to the bathroom and running back?
I remember that more in like 97, 98.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Those were more can't miss.
Gotcha.
This was kind of like, and even then, even here, where they do have a big match, there was one match per show that like mattered.
Gotcha.
It was usually like 2 matches of like just squash matches, But this being like a big match with 2 name guys. And again, we get Diesel shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard of this one. Both they're good. I said they were a good team. They're both, athletic. It was really well paced.
And I think at the beginning they do like a reversal sequence where it's kind of showing like these guys, they trained with each other. They've wrestled each other a lot. Now they know each other's moves.
Exactly. No, this is a really good one. Marty wins, but then Shawn his leg on the road.
Right. And it's kind of...
Restart. It's kind of... That part was kind of strange.
They kind of...
And then Shawn
you really have to listen to the commentary. Like, Marty hits the DDT, the ref counts, and right away they go to commercial, but Bobby Heenan's pointing, like, saying he was under the ropes, and then they come back on the match. They should have had, like, 30 seconds to say, like, they restarted the match because the ref looked at the replay.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like they come back and it's...
already going.
It's already back going, and the announcers have to like quickly explain it on the table or on the fly.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. But no, that was a good one. What happens after that in Shawn Michaels?
So actually, about 2 months. No, it was about September '93. He gets suspended because they say that he failed the drug test, and he says he didn't fail the drug test, but he walks out with the Intercontinental title. So they give a new Intercontinental title, and Razor Ramon wins it. And then right before Survivor Series, Shawn Michaels comes back. They've patched over their differences, and he still has his Intercontinental title. So him and Razor Ramon start a feud, and that eventually leads to the first pay-per-view ladder match between between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
Gotcha.
Which we've watched before.
Okay.
And that's like the first acknowledged ladder match in WWF history, which, of course, Bret Hart is pissy about.
Yeah, well, that is kind of weird. Why didn't they acknowledge the Shawn Michaels Bret Hart one?
For a while they didn't, because, like, if it happened on just a home video, it, like, wasn't really... It was canon, but it wasn't canon.
Gotcha. All right. Well, whatever.
So then, after WrestleMania, actually, Shawn Michaels takes a little break, as he's still on the show. He's kind of like doubling as Diesel's manager and is the host of his own interview segment, The Heartbreak Hotel. And then his first match back, actually, after WrestleMania, is against Razor Ramon on Raw. And we watched it on August 1st, 1994.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, fast, athletic, lots of action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did really like the Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just because you get the style, you have more athletic, but not like Rob Van Dam.
Right, like just, flips for flip's sake.
Right, and still really strong wrestlers and really athletic. So, Shawn Michaels wins, and then Diesel beats up Razor Ramon some more.
So the thing was, Diesel was the Intercontinental Champion at this point. He won it from Razor Ramon. And they were going to fight each other at SummerSlam. So
they're making a big deal.
They were talking about how, like, Shawn Michaels wanted to soften him up for Diesel.
That's right.
Because you want the 230-pounder to soften up a guy for the 350-pounder.
Oh, yes, exactly. Makes a lot of
how
sense.
It works.
Well, whatever logic they have to employ.
But then, of course, at SummerSlam, Razor Ramon had Walter Payton in his corner.
Oh, really?
So he chased Shawn Michaels all around the ring.
Wait, was it in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did a house show there a couple of years ago, but one of the only WWF shows at the United Center.
Oh, wow.
And the first event at the United Center.
Nice.
They opened it up and they never went back.
Yeah. Maybe the last show at United Center.
Maybe.
Will be a AEW or whatever form the company's in at that point. Also, I don't really see the United Center going anywhere.
No, I mean, they'll eventually...
Need a new one?
Need something new.
Well, how so it opened in
94. I mean, it's got a couple more years, especially because, like, basketball and hockey stadiums, like, are the ones that don't change that much.
That's true.
Like, it's always going to be what it is.
Like, this kind of makes the court is, like, or this regulation size.
Yeah, it's all regulation size.
How come baseball doesn't have a regulation on the shape?
It's baseball.
Okay, so they just don't want it.
They don't want
to build new stadiums every 15 years.
Oh, they'd love to build new stadiums if they get the sweet taxpayer money.
They don't pay. Yeah, they don't use their money.
Yeah,
that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's a whole other show and genre of podcast.
Right. So this is 1996.
So we'll actually first we'll take a break before we get into the next arch of Shawn Michaels' career.
So
it's kind of a midway point where he goes from, this is the end of his run as mid-card heel, I would say.
Gotcha.
Roddy Piper, what did I ever do to you? I mean, the last I saw of you, we were buds, we were hanging out. Now, of course, I find myself in a tag match with a man that I don't even know. Now, I don't mind taking on the opponent's British Bulldog and Owen Hart, but Yokozuna is my partner. I just got finished beating the guy up. And now I've got to try to depend on him? Come on, man, I don't know if that's going to happen. The only thing that I can say thank you for is sending me to one of my most favorite places to perform in front of. At least the clique will be there behind HBK to support him. One way or another, British Bulldog, and especially you, Owen Hart, I'm going to get my hands on each of you. And I'm gonna jack your jaws. Yokozuna, you better be behind me standing tall, my man, because if you get in my way, HBK and the clique are gonna do a number on you, too. I don't know whether you're with them or you're against them. I guess there's only one way to find it.
And we are back. Hello.
Hello.
And So as we left, we were at right around SummerSlam 94. And actually the night before SummerSlam 94, Shawn Michaels and Diesel won the tag team titles at an untelevised event.
Another
untelevised event. A lot of Shawn Michaels title action there. So they win the tag titles there, and then they actually announce it, because they couldn't go on their website back then and announce it. They actually announce it the next day on Good Morning with Regis and Kathy Lee, because Shawn Michaels and Diesel are guests there.
Really? Ooh,
which is really weird because...
why don't we watch that?
I couldn't find it.
Oh.
And it's really weird because they won the titles in Indianapolis.
Then they flew to New York.
They flew to New York, and then they, I guess, flew right back to Chicago because that's where the pay-per-view was that night.
That is kind of strange.
So they had quite the travel.
A lot of travel day. That's a long travel day.
And at SummerSlam, the main reason Razor Ramon is able to beat Diesel and become Intercontinental Champ, besides Walter Payton, of course, is that Shawn Michaels accidentally super kicks Diesel.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait, accidentally?
Yes,
quote, unquote?
accidentally.
Gotcha.
Diesel is holding him Razor ducked.
Okay.
And then, so they are tag champs still. Diesel lost the IC title. And then, I think it was the first show we did, we saw Shawn Michaels and Diesel versus 1, 2, 3 Kid and Razor Ramon tag match.
That's big.
And it's really crazy 25-minute tag match. And during that, Shawn Michaels accidentally kicks Diesel.
Oh,
and then at Survivor Series, he again accidentally kicks him. And that's
not so accidental.
That's the last time Diesel is pissed and tries to attack Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels throws down the tag team titles, declaring them vacant because he doesn't want to team with Diesel anymore. Then 2 nights after Survivor Series, Diesel beats Bob Backlund to become the world champion, out of nowhere. So now Diesel's the big baby face in charge of the promotion. So Shawn Michaels enters the Royal Rumble in 1995 at 1 and wins the whole thing.
Gotcha. Oh, wow.
Well, it is a half hour, or it's a 1-minute interval, so it's a really shitty Rumble. Especially because there's, no depth in it whatsoever. The British Bulldog is the second biggest guy in the Rumble.
Yeah, sounds weak.
It was very weak.
Why is it? Is that why they only did a minute?
Yeah, they knew, so many of these guys are shit. We don't need 2 minutes between each bushwhacker. We can just get them in and get them out as quickly as possible. I love the bushwhackers.
I know you do.
I was given a shot of Fireball by one of them in New Orleans, but they don't need to be in Rumbles in 1995.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Their Rumble appearance in 95.
So Shawn Michaels basically wins the Royal Rumble because he's the only good wrestler they have in it.
It's kind of a dark time for 1995.
Yeah, 1995 is a pretty dark time for the WWF.
Well, I think a turning point.
Yeah.
They got a rebrand.
They do, cool. But they have him versus Diesel at WrestleMania, and there's split opinions on it. I think it's pretty good. Some people think it's Shawn Michaels went too far into trying to make himself be special, where it should have been more about Diesel. But it both ways, and then that's not actually the main event.
Huh.
The main event is Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor.
What?
Yep.
That's what
the football player.
You said dark year.
Yeah, I mean that actually is it's a very good celebrity match, but it's kind of odd that it just shows how little confidence they had in their own stars at the time that Lawrence Taylor had to be the big baby face at WrestleMania.
True. Yeah. We should do a celebrity match month.
I was thinking about that. And then, so Shawn Michaels actually turns face the night after WrestleMania by basically Sid attacking him.
Okay.
And then...
That's how you turn face. I know how you turn heel. How do you turn face?
You have someone beat you up.
Oh, okay.
So then, Shawn Michaels comes back as a babyface. He has the second ladder match with Razor Ramon, wins that, the IC champ, and then they kind of start building towards the Rumble with him and talking about how it's his boyhood dream to win the world title.
Gotcha.
So he beats Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12.
Nice.
We talked about an hour-long match.
That's right.
Which is why we did not watch it. And then his first big title match at pay-per-view was Good Friends, Better Enemies against Diesel.
Oh, okay.
And this was Diesel was champ for a year, lost it to Bret Hart, and then turned heel by attacking Bret Hart and giving him the jackknife 3 times. So he like nearly turned like back to asshole heel.
Gotcha.
And he fights Shawn Michaels in a no-holds-barred match in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was kind of a strange one. Oh, this is the one yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is like a really weird one.
Yep.
Because I remember you were sleeping like on the couch next to me, like when the guy takes his leg off. I was like, what the hell's going on?
So it's Butcher Vachon.
Okay, so hang on. That was near the end of the
Okay,
match.
yes, it was.
Yeah, so like Shawn goes off the top rope right away. He takes the boot off of announcer. Diesel takes the rough's belt off. Then it gets kind of like graphic. Starts like choking him with it.
Yeah.
It's very theatrical. Shawn gets slammed to the announcer's table. The crowd starts booing a lot.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It was just kind of
over the top.
They didn't want Shawn Michaels to lose.
Gotcha. Oh well, they got their wish because he pulls a friggin' guy's leg off. And then
Kevin Nash pulls the leg off.
Okay.
Yeah. Diesel.
But what? Why?
So it's anything goes, and Mad Dog Vachon is an old wrestler who they just happened to point out like before the match, and he, happened to be sitting ringside because I think he was from or around there at least.
Omaha.
Well, probably. No, he was Canadian. Maybe he lived around there by now.
Okay.
So, anyways, yeah. So Kevin Nash pulls him out of his arena seat and rips his prosthetic leg off, which he had from a motorcycle accident, which is why he retired.
Did he know that was going to happen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They
told him that we're going to use your leg as a part of the finish.
I hope so. That
and
was
just,
very upsetting. Okay, I don't know. Still gonna ask questions like that.
He was in on it.
He was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
He probably like unhook it or something.
Yeah, I don't think
prosthesis works, but if they just don't get it
just ripped off.
Right, exactly. They don't design it like this, like those tearaway pants. Or
yeah, exactly. A little stronger than that.
Right. Oh man.
So he tries to use it, but Shawn Michaels actually gets the foot and uses it. And then hits Sweet Chin music for the win. Yeah,
that took a turn. I was not expecting that.
And that's basically it for Diesel in the WWF.
Really?
Yep. He would go to WCW shortly hereafter and start the NWO and do all that.
Then he started in Magic Mike.
Yep.
Well, that's a lot later.
Yes.
I thought that was an interesting casting choice.
Yeah. Oh, he was known as Big Sexy, so...
Yeah, all right, I guess.
And then, so Shawn Michaels is champion, and we get the next round of his title defenses is against the British Bulldog at King of the Ring.
Yep.
And the angle started with the British Bulldog saying that Shawn Michaels hit on his wife.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They made a big deal about that.
Yeah, and then they have a title match the month before, and it ends in a double count where 2 referees each counts the other guy's shoulders down.
Gotcha.
So the idea here was to have an impartial referee, but they choose Mr. Perfect, and everyone knows Mr. Perfect can't be an impartial referee.
That never really works out.
Yeah. So they actually have Mr. Perfect on the outside and an actual referee on the inside.
Yeah. Oh, and then Owen Hart keeps on, like, his commentary is pretty good.
I just like when the British Bulldog comes out, he's standing on the top of the announce table cheering for him. We're for you, Davey!
He talks about it because his wife's name is Diana, and he's like, oh, like Princess Diana.
Yes, that's the British Bulldog's wife and Owen Hart's sister.
That's right. They are. I knew they were related.
Yes.
I forgot how.
We're for you, Davey!
I'm trying to think about it. Yeah, Shawn flips him over. Oh, this is the one where, like, British Bulldog, like, body presses him,
he press slams him and
he fall, like, he, like,
Vince McMahon's like, that should be a disqualification, and Owen Hart's like, no, he just slipped.
Yeah, it did look like he slipped.
It does kind of, but it's like, that's not a disqualification. Throwing a guy outside of the ring isn't a disqualification.
It looked like a huge drop.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big drop, but they did that like in every British Bulldog Shawn Michaels match.
So that was a planned movie thing?
Yeah, okay. I think so. I think
it did look like
they just kind of make it
look like the
make
execution.
It like a big point of emphasis in the match.
Yeah, I said lots of brawling, lots of big moves. So about the hat for Shawn Michaels, what was he wearing?
Oh yeah, it's like a newsboy.
That's right.
Like newsboy with a lot of silver metal pieces on it. That's the way to describe it, I guess.
That's true. But yeah, then Shawn wins and then starts beating up Owen Hart.
Yeah, Owen Hart comes in, and then Vader comes in, and then Ahmed Johnson comes out, and then finally the Ultimate Warrior comes out to let the faces stand tall.
Is that why they do that?
Yeah.
I guess I should be used to it by now. It still kind of annoys me.
And then, so, Shawn Michaels has the title till Survivor Series, loses it to Sid, wins it back from Sid at the Royal Rumble, and then in February of 97, he loses his smile.
Loses his smile?
Yes, that's what he says in an interview, and forfeits the title. Really, he was just pretty much pilled up.
Oh, really?
Like, to an excess here. And,
yikes. Okay.
And he did need a knee surgery, but it was only like, he claimed it was like, could be career-ending surgery, and like 4 weeks later, he's back doing moonsaults off the top rope.
Yeah, not so much then.
But it happened to get out of losing a match to Bret Hart at WrestleMania by having this horrible injury.
Gotcha.
So there's people who doubt that it was as bad as he says.
So he had an addiction issue this
He was big
summer?
into painkillers and like the somas.
What's a soma?
It was like a commercial painkiller they had back in like the late 90s. It was big with wrestlers.
Gotcha. Well, he overcame that, obviously.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
That's more on the second part of Shawn Michaels' career.
I figured, kind of knowing what I know about his late career so much, I assume there's some sort of
Well, there's a lot of Jesus.
Exactly.
You know that much at the very least.
Redemption narrative in there somewhere.
Yes.
But yeah, so 1998, the last match that we watched.
Yeah, so eventually he turns heel. He starts hanging out with, at the time, just Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And
that's right.
He slowly morphs into Triple H. They form Degeneration X and wins the title from Bret Hart at Survivor Series 97, which again, we'll get to this coming. We're going to have to watch an extra documentary here in this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to get a jump on the Bret Hart month because there's a lot at the back end.
Okay, fair enough.
But anyways, so he's the head of DX, he's the world champ, and he still has to face The Undertaker.
Has to?
Yes, because like they had their match at Bad Blood, the first Hell in a Cell match, and The Undertaker killed Shawn Michaels in it, but at the end Kane made his debut and helped Shawn Michaels win, so The Undertaker's the number one contender and gets to choose the type of match, and he chooses a casket match.
That's right. They had a casket cam, of course.
Of course. And surprisingly, I think this is the only match we saw where we get some Shawn Michaels ass.
You're right. Well, we've definitely seen Shawn Michaels booty.
Oh, yeah.
Other watches.
It's all over in the ladder matches.
Right. Oh, yeah. They love to put on his butt. Show his butt in the ladder match. But you're right. For this particular month, this is our only butt showing. Butt viewing.
Do you like the butt? The Shawn Michaels
butt? Yeah, he's got a nice
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, he does.
Yep. And...
My definitive opinion.
Yes. And then at one point they have The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels runs at The Undertaker. Undertaker gives him a back body drop over the top rope, over the casket. But the small of Shawn Michaels' back just nicks the casket.
Oh, that's right.
And that eventually is what they say, ends his career for 4 years. They say it was kind of like a thing where sooner or later his back was going to go.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be this.
Kind of, that was the straw that broke.
Yeah. And I mean, this early in the match. I forgot that it was
when he told me
3 or 4 minutes in.
It didn't really seem to affect him the rest of the time.
Yeah, I think he didn't really feel it that night. I think he said 2 or 3 nights later he woke up and could barely move.
Yikes.
And it was his the small of his back. And this is actually he only wrestles after this at WrestleMania 14 to Steve Austin to lose the title to him. And he was, not the best person at this time, he said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he couldn't wrestle So he's the one thing he knows how to do, he can't do, and like he's taking pills. He's
right. It's a big part of his identity. He's taking.
Yes,
he's
exactly.
Lost. But this will kind of skip over. We're talk about what happens in this match.
Oh yeah,
this match,
yes,
that gets cracked.
Yes.
Speaking of messed up endings, what the hell?
So being a casket match, there's no DQ.
Right.
And the Undertaker, again, as is his usual, kills Shawn Michaels dead.
Right.
And is about to win, and then Triple H gets involved, and then the New Age Outlaws, and the Los Boricuas, Savio Vega and his Puerto Rican street gang.
Obviously. Yeah.
So they all get in there.
And then they all run out.
Why? Who comes out?
Kane comes out with a...
And the week before, they had made it seem like Kane and the Undertaker had reunited.
Because they're brothers in this universe right now. Okay, but then Kane really takes it up a notch. Like he really escalates it. He puts Undertaker in the... Well, that's another confusing thing too. They never rang the bell.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I think
because I couldn't really tell if it was over or if this was like...
Well, I think the problem was the referee was supposed to be knocked out at some point.
Okay, yeah.
So he's just coming to as Undertaker or as Shawn Michaels closes the casket. So I think he's still kind of hunched over when he calls for the bell, so they don't see it. Gotcha. So it just kind of ends, but Shawn Michaels wins, and just escapes by the hair of his teeth. No, skin of his teeth. Yeah.
Gotcha. But then Kane throws Undertaker in the casket.
Yep.
And then Paul Bearer locks it shut.
Yep.
And then they move it to a very padded area up by the ramp.
Suspiciously padded area that I'm sure had no escape doors on it or trap doors at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can get to that. So the Undertaker obviously squirrels out somehow. Because then Kane takes a hatchet.
Yep.
Because their liability insurance would be through the roof if they left Undertaker in there. And then he douses it in gasoline and then sets it on fire.
Yep. Sets it ablaze.
No one really knows how to
react. It was funny because on the home video version, they showed, it ends with the casket on fire. That's how they go to credits. And then on the TV, on the video, they have an extra where, right after the show ends, the officials run out with fire extinguishers and eventually open the casket and there's nothing inside.
Oh.
And the Undertaker's music plays.
Ooh.
Because, to try and take the fans' minds off the fact that they just saw homicide.
Yes.
Here's the Undertaker's music.
Yes. Don't worry, guys.
Here's the funeral march for the guy who was just burned to death.
They had to build a trapdoor into the bottom of the coffin.
I think,
the whole bottom came off.
Well, it was probably a false bottom or something, and it just popped out where the padded area was. Mm-hmm. Undertaker just had to hang out in there for a little while.
Yes, was a flame above him. But yeah, no, good month.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels, fun matches to watch and good era.
Yeah, I agree. We'll hold off on ranking him until we have the full body.
Full picture.
Yeah, okay. But I think it'll be good to have this part where you see his rise.
Yes.
And the next one there's no rise, he's just always at the top.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah.
Cool.
But before then we'll hit Bret Hart next month. This month is we're starting now.
Early. Lots of Bret Hart content.
Yep, lots of Bret Hart.
So then we'll circle back to Shawn Michaels.
Yes, we'll come back to Shawn Michaels.
Good. A good couple months.
Yep. All right. Until then.
Thanks for listening.
Yep. Enjoy.
Bye.
I think he's cute. He's so sexy. He's got the look. This rider goes wild. Got the moves that really move me. He sends chills up and down my spine. He's just my sexy boy. Sexy boy. He's not your boy toy. He's just my sexy boy. He's not your boy toy. He makes me hot. He makes me shiver. My knees get weak when he comes around. I see him walk, I hear him talk. He makes me feel like I'm on cloud nine. He's just my sexy boy.